Picture a whirlwind romance. Sia, the enigmatic pop icon known for her haunting voice and signature wigs, and Dan Bernard, a former oncologist whose quiet strength drew her in. Their worlds collided in a way that felt almost cinematic, swept up in a love that seemed destined to last forever. Friends described their connection as electric, a meeting of two souls who had both weathered storms and were ready for something real. Their December 2022 wedding was more than just a celebration. It was a beacon of hope, a promise of new beginnings. For Sia, who had already opened her heart to two adopted sons, this was a chance to build the family she'd always dreamed of. The ceremony was intimate, filled with laughter, tears, and the kind of joy that makes you believe in second chances. Just over a year later, in March 2024, their happiness grew with the arrival of their son, Somersault Wonder Bernard. The couple shared their joy with the world, posting heartfelt photos and messages about their growing family. It seemed like everything was falling perfectly into place. To outsiders, they were the picture of happiness, a family filled with music, laughter, and unconditional love. Their home was alive with creativity and warmth, a safe haven from the chaos of fame. But life isn't a fairy tale. Behind closed doors, the harmony began to fade, replaced by tension and misunderstandings. The pressures of fame, parenthood, and personal struggles started to take their toll. By March 2025, the unthinkable happened. Sia filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Less than 2 years after their vows, the dream had shattered, leaving both reeling from the sudden change. The public was stunned. Fans and media alike struggled to understand how a love story that seemed so perfect could unravel so quickly. Headlines speculated, and social media buzzed with theories and rumors. The end of their marriage wasn't just a private heartbreak, it marked the beginning of a much darker chapter, one filled with uncertainty and pain. What was once private pain soon became public spectacle. Accusations, suspicion, and anger took center stage as the world watched their story unfold in real time. The focus shifted from building a life together to tearing it apart, piece by piece. Every memory, every shared dream now felt like evidence in a battle neither wanted to fight. And at the very heart of this storm was their innocent son, Summi. Caught between two worlds, he became the silent witness to a conflict that would soon make global headlines. The stage was set for a custody war no one could have predicted, a battle that would test the limits of love, loyalty, and the true meaning of family. Divorce is hard, but when a child is involved, you hope for maturity and grace. For Sia and Dan, that hope vanished fast. Their split spiraled into a bitter custody fight over 19-month-old Summi. In October 2025, Dan filed for sole custody, claiming Sia was a danger to their son. The accusation was devastating. Sia, once the primary caregiver, now painted as unfit. Every detail of their private pain became public fodder. The stakes: a mother's right to raise her child, a father's desperate plea, and a little boy's future. This was no ordinary legal dispute. It was a human drama with everything on the line. Dan didn't just seek custody. He launched a full-scale attack on Sia's character, painting a picture of instability and danger. In his legal filings, he alleged that Sia was actively struggling with substance abuse, raising serious questions about her ability to care for their child. He claimed to have personally witnessed Sia using drugs, including powerful substances like ketamine and opioids, and described scenes of reckless behavior that he said put their daughter at risk. Dan even cited a recent hospitalization, alleging that toxicology reports showed unprescribed substances in Sia's system. He argued that this incident was proof of a dangerous pattern, not just a one-time mistake. The most shocking accusation came from a nanny, who allegedly found Sia at home, disoriented and confused, with $15,000 worth of ketamine in her pocket. The implication was clear. Sia's struggles were not hidden, but happening in plain sight. In contrast, Dan presented himself as the stable, responsible parent. A respected doctor with a spotless record, a steady job, and a calm home environment. He insisted that only he could provide the safety and structure Summi needed, arguing that Sia's unpredictable behavior made her unfit to parent alone. These sworn court allegations weren't just about custody. They threatened to destroy Sia's career, her reputation in the public eye, and her very identity as a mother. The accusations rippled far beyond the courtroom, casting a shadow over every aspect of her life. The public was left to wonder, was this a desperate father's plea to protect his child, or a calculated attack designed to ruin Sia's life? Social media buzzed with speculation, and the story quickly became a topic of heated debate. Inside the courtroom, every detail was scrutinized. The battle lines were drawn, and the fight for custody became a fight for truth, reputation, and the future of a family. For Sia, the stakes had never been higher. Her future and her daughter's hung in the balance. Sia didn't stay silent. She fought back, calling Dan's claims a manipulative legal tactic. She admitted to past addiction but insisted she's been sober for over 6 months, with regular drug testing and a sober companion. Sia argued her commitment to sobriety was why the marriage ended, not relapse. She accused Dan of living a party lifestyle, creating instability for their son. Her legal team insisted Summi was safe and thriving in her care. They called Dan's emergency custody bid a disruptive ploy, not a genuine concern. Sia's message was clear. My child is safe with me. Sia's openness about her struggles once inspired millions. Now, her past is being used against her in court. Dan's legal team blurred the line between her history and her present, fueling doubt about her fitness as a parent. Sia accused him of weaponizing her recovery for leverage. She's in a sobriety program, drug-tested and supported, signs of strength, not weakness. But in this battle, even her progress is twisted as evidence of instability. Sia's fight is now about more than custody. It's about proving recovery is real, and her past doesn't define her future as a mother. Just as the custody fight intensified, Sia revealed a shocking twist. She alleged Dan was investigated for child pornography possession after their split, prompting her to insist on supervised visits. The LAPD and Child Services closed the case as inconclusive. No charges filed, but suspicion lingered. Dan denied wrongdoing and accused Sia of planting evidence, escalating the war of accusations. The truth remained murky, with both parents under a cloud of doubt. The court was left to untangle a web of claims and counterclaims. Was this a mother's desperate protection or a father's nightmare of false accusation? The stakes for Summi's safety and future had never been more uncertain. Behind the custody battle, a financial war raged. Dan, who left his medical career, sought over $77,000 a month in child support and $250,000 in spousal support, plus hundreds of thousands for legal and accounting fees. Sia's team argued these demands were the real motive behind Dan's custody push. She claimed to have already paid him $300,000 since their separation. Was Dan's fight for Summi about fatherhood or financial leverage? The outcome of custody would directly impact the money at stake. A court hearing loomed, with millions and a child's future on the line. The question, love or payday? Beneath the headlines, a family was unraveling. What the world saw as a scandal was, for them, a daily struggle, one that chipped away at the bonds that once held them together. The pain was not just in the public eye, but in every quiet moment at home, every tense silence, every tear shed behind closed doors. Sia, fiercely private, now faced public scrutiny and personal anguish. The glare of the media made her every move feel exposed, her every word twisted. She grappled with the weight of judgment from strangers, while trying to hold herself together for her son. She fought for her reputation, her sobriety, and the right to raise her son. Each day was a battle, against rumors, against her own fears, and against a system that seemed indifferent to her pain. Her love for Summi was her anchor, even as the world around her spun out of control. Dan, once a respected doctor, now endured supervised visits and public suspicion. His career, his reputation, and his role as a father were all under threat. The man who once healed others now struggled to heal his own fractured family. Both parents were consumed by anger and desperation. Their arguments grew louder, their patience thinner, and their hope for reconciliation faded with each passing day. The love that once united them was now buried beneath layers of resentment and pain. But the greatest victim was Summi, just 19 months old, caught in a storm he couldn't understand. He watched the people he loved most drift further apart, unable to make sense of the chaos swirling around him. His earliest memories shaped by conflict, not comfort. The warmth of family replaced by uncertainty, his laughter overshadowed by the echoes of arguments he could not comprehend. Court orders, supervised visits, and animosity defined his world. The legal system became a constant presence, dictating when he could see his parents and how he could spend his days. The emotional toll on a child in such turmoil can last a lifetime. The confusion, the loneliness, and the longing for peace leave invisible scars that may never fully heal. In this war, the one they both claimed to love most was the one most at risk. Summi's future now depended on whether his parents could find a way to put aside their pain and remember the little boy at the heart of it all. As of October 2025, the family's fate hangs in the balance. Dan demands strict drug testing for Sia, she agrees, but says he refuses the same. The court must sift through accusations and decide what's best for Summi. No criminal charges have been filed. Family court is the only judge. The outcome could mean sole custody for Dan, status quo for Sia, or a monitored co-parenting plan. The hope that Summi's well-being comes first, and his childhood is spared from further chaos. The world watches, hoping peace will prevail for the sake of one little boy.